The MeToo storm has now swept Bollywood. The upcoming film Houseful 4. Sajid Khan has stepped down as director after being accused of sexual harassment at the assault of 2 women. In his statement, he's also told the media not to pass any judgment until the truth is out, and one wonders what truth he is now referring to. This comes after Akshay Kumar tweeted taking a stand on the movement, requesting producers to cancel the shoot of the film. Now, this entire movement of the Me Too campaign began about a week ago with the accusation, post the accusation of Nana Patekar having sexually harassed Tanushree Datta on the sets of one film, after which various stories began to come out. Is it just social media that allows us as women the freedom to now speak our minds? Where is this movement going? Joining me right now, Sandhya Mridul. Sandhya has also shared a story about actor Alok Nath, and this is the first time she's breaking her silence on television. Sandhya, first of all, thank you for joining us. I want to appreciate the bravery and the sort of poise with which you have shared the story and which you have maintained your entire stance. This came out obviously after Vinta Nanda talked about her experience with Alok Nath, and you felt the need to share your story. A lot of people have questioned why now, why wait for so long, why didn't you say anything back then? Do you have an answer for those questions?
No, Faye, I don't have an answer, and I don't care to answer these questions at all. We will come out when we are ready to come out. We will go through our experiences, we will regain our composure, we will clear our heads, and we will speak when we are ready to speak. And all those people who ask any of us why we did not speak can plainly go to hell.
Very well said, Sandhya. There's a lot being said about the movement right now. People want to know, where is this movement going? What do we as women want out of it? I mean, I've been asked the question repeatedly for the last 1 week. What do you want out of this? How are you going to prove these allegations from 20 years ago, from 15 years ago, from 10 years ago? So I want to ask you this question. And you've always been very vocal about what you want. What do you expect, or what do you want out of this movement ideally?
To start with, Faye, the biggest reason that men have gotten away with this is the silence of women. We agree, right? I mean, it's a silence which has allowed people to get away. The first and foremost thing that I expect from this movement which is happening now is that we have a voice. We are speaking. We are using it. Women are finally breaking their silence and speaking. So for now, that is the biggest start that we can have. It is a huge thing to have happened. And that should answer one of the questions that you asked me, that people want to know why there has been that silence. I mean, they're talking about that silence. We are breaking it now. Okay, now is as good a time as any. We are calling out the apathy in the male-dominated system. We're calling out the effective systems, the non-effective systems. We're calling it all out, basically. And that is what I expected for a very long time. And it's happening now. Where we go from here, I think the voice will only get louder and louder till effective systems start coming into place. It's as simple as that.
Well, Sandhya, do you believe we're anywhere close to done with this movement, given the, given the sort of stories that are still coming out on a daily basis? Do you believe the larger names have been outed yet?
No, not at all. Not at all. And I wish to God I was 15 mobiles ago as I speak with you. But I think it's a matter of time. I think it's a matter of building confidence. I think it's a matter of also putting effective systems. People ask me, why didn't I complain then? Why didn't any of these women complain then? Complain to who? I didn't know who to go to. My voice was not effective because there was no effective system in place. There was no effective committee. There was no effective support. There was no effective platform. Today we have social media. I can break my story, and within 10 minutes, all of you knew what was going on. So, I mean, we have this now. We have this, and I think we can use it well. And I think, Faye, a couple of months ago, somebody came to me a very well-known publication that's doing good work and trying to investigate all of this, came to me and said, Sandhya, will you speak? And I said to them, I said, look, in many ways than one, I'm your hashtag not me too. I didn't do anything. You know, I kind of, we need all women to speak and not feel ashamed, you know, even those women who had to go through this. Because for me, it's always like, oh, you didn't get assaulted. You didn't, you know, nothing happened to you. It's very difficult. It's a thin line. And I just feel that it's important that we kind of create a panel, like a Me Too panel, where people can come and speak and tell their stories, and we can see if we can do anything for them. Are they legally protected? What kind of, because not everybody will be able to provide evidence now, Faye. It's very hard.
And Sandhya, when you talked about your story,
how do we give weight to these allegations?
When you talked about your story, you did say, of course, that you had to have the hairdresser spend the night with you in your hotel room, and you had the hairdresser, in fact, stay with you for several nights for protection. So legally, there were witnesses. Right. There were people at the time who could corroborate what happened to you, who could corroborate, you know, the situation at that time. Yes. So that is evidence, yes, technically, and with every single case, we could put together evidence in that manner.
Yes. So, you know, right. So that's what I'm saying, and that we can do, Faye. You know, it took me a lot to go through in my mind and think of the story and think of everything. But it was so clear once I sat down to write. It was very hard for me to put it down, and then it just flashed before my eyes. And I have my DOP who was there, who rescued me from my room. You know, I have my co-actors. I have another co-actress who reached out to me, Bhairavi Raichura, the other day, and she said, Sandy, I was there. I saw it all. If you want me to speak, I will speak. I have a couple of friends who I came back and spoke to it about so many years ago. They called me and they said, Sandhya, we're there to corroborate. So yes, I have evidence, but does everybody? Can everybody? And even if there are certain people, they will not speak. I'm lucky I have people who will speak for me, you know. So we need to kind of, and it's also very difficult to put together, Faye. You know, you're shaking, you're digging so deep, you've buried it, you've tried to move on. These are demons, they're, you know, that you've kind of walked away from. You know, so I think a lot of counseling, conversation, advice, structuring is required. And I really feel it would be, you know, I was speaking to Sushant Singh of Sinta today. He's doing very good work. He's putting together a committee. He is collaborating with the International Federation of Actors in Hollywood. He is, you know, he's taking advice from the Me Too movement there, which is, you know, which is important. He's trying to talk to the Producers Guild here. He's setting a committee in place for all of this. And I think that is as close to a panel as we can get, where we can also kind of bring in a whole lot of actors, put down a list of names that they've experienced things with, and see how you can go about it. I think we need a system. We need a system.
Well, you know, we've had the Minister of Women and Child Affairs who has just come out with a statement saying the ministry will look at putting together a panel, a committee of senior lawyers and retired judges who will look at all of the allegations that have come up and examine each of those allegations. Do you believe this is something we need as well?
I think so. I think it'll be great if we have all kinds of professionals on it, and that's what Sushant was talking to me about. I had a long conversation with him, and I think we should do this. I think we should do this. It'll give, you know, stimulus to this movement. It'll give support and strength to the people who are unsure. I've always been a very strong and confident person in spite of everything that happened to me, but I'll tell you something. It was very hard for me to do this. It was very hard for me to pen this down because these were things I ran away from. And like I said, you know, you need this counseling. You need legal advice. I'm fortunate, I come from a family of lawyers. I spoke with my brother, I spoke with my family, and you need that. You need that support, however strong and confident or whatever the hell like people image you as. You need all of that. And I think it's a good thing to consider, and I'm glad that it's all blown out, that people are thinking of solutions now. You know, and not just saying चलता है, ये तो होता है, संध्या जी आपको किसी ने हाथ तो नहीं लगाया, जाने दीजिए, आप बच गई.
But you know what?
That's all I heard always.
Sandhya, this is my question to you. You know, for a lot of us who don't work in the film industry, we're probably not as familiar with what goes on. But the allegations against Sajid Khan, for example, that have surfaced in the last 24 hours, in those allegations, he talks about how this is how it works in this industry. You have to live with the director. The director will have his way with you multiple times. This is what is expected of you. It's not even just a one-night stand. It's a drawn-out thing over many months, and then I will decide whether or not to even give you the role. Did that come as a shock to you, or is this how it works? Because you keep telling me that people say to you, nothing happened to you. Does that mean something happening is the norm? Is this how it works?
It's not a shock to me, and I think I tweeted about that. Faye, it's not a shock to me. These are the not so well kept secrets. Everybody knows everything about everybody, you know, and it's there. It's just that people are scared to speak. You have to give up on your career. You have to give up on your work. Sometimes, you know, and it's mental abuse. And sometimes, like I said, it's so difficult to identify. In my case, nobody actually managed to lay a hand on me. But that had a lot to do with me. I made sure that I was never in that position. I made sure the murmurs were in the background when it came to me. Oh, don't touch her, she'll talk. Don't touch her, she won't do it. You know, and like I said in my letter, even though I didn't get assaulted, my career, my soul, my head, everything got assaulted. And you know, so it's just that you make that choice, and it's not a fair choice. And as far as Sajid is concerned, I'm sorry to say this, and it's probably hurtful to his family, but the fact of the matter is that everybody has known Sajid's stories for a very long time now, Faye.
And Sandhya, you talked about how people would say, don't touch her, she'll talk, don't touch her, she's not going to put up with it. But the truth is, back there, like you said, the harassment rule, did women get moved out? Were women taken away from the industry? Did people refuse to work with them? Were they called difficult to work with? Was that a real threat that you would not get any work? Nobody would work with you. The men called the shots on all film sets.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's happened to a lot of people, including me. I got replaced from work, and constantly it was said about me, oh, that she's difficult and she's arrogant. And then I would work with people, and I remember working on honeymoon travels, and Zoya and Rima saying, Sandy, we heard you're difficult, you're such great fun to work with. And everybody I worked with ended up saying that to me. And I know a whole lot of other women. You know, one has to be resilient to still be around. I could have run away many years ago, Faye, and I almost did. You know, it was impossible for me, because I just came so disciplined. I get there on time, I work, I do this, but it's not about that. It's about the stuff that you don't do, you know. And a lot of women have lost out, and a lot of women have left and given up. You know, and I just chose a different path. I chose to do little work, but with the people I trust, with good people, with good cinema, and you know, and yeah, so that's how it is, and that's a fact.
So here's a question. Actor Farhan Akhtar has also tweeted in response to the allegations against Sajid Khan, saying that he's heartbroken upon hearing these allegations, and he hopes that the director finds a way to atone for for the allegations. And a similar sort of response was also put out by Sajid Khan's sister, Farah Khan. Now, we've had a couple of journalists actually message me saying it's impossible that they would have not known. Everybody knew this. Everybody was silent about it. It's very easy to now turn around and say, I'm heartbroken, or I'm shocked and I can't believe what I'm hearing. But most of it is the truth. The truth about most of it is that all of these people already knew. Is that true? Do you agree with that as well?
Yeah, I do. I'm sure. I mean, like I said, you know, everybody knew. Everybody's known about him for a very long time, and there are a whole lot of people like that everybody knows about. And these are the not so well kept secrets. I mean, you know, but I don't know. It's a joke. It's so deep. It's so deep, and I cannot believe I'm finally speaking about this, and I cannot believe that I have somebody like you listening to me, you know, and not making me feel bad about myself. And for that, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I never thought I would make it here. I never thought, you know, that we would get a platform like this to ever speak. And everybody knows everything, Faye. You know, I'm sorry, but that's the fact of it. And I said something about a casting couch many years ago, and I got slammed for it in the press. It's always been there.
Sandhya, you did say, of course, that there are other names that people know about that haven't come out yet. Are you expecting bigger names than the ones that we've already seen? People currently active who probably be outed as well?
I'm hoping. Yes. 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 I think if we keep this momentum going and we keep it honest and we keep it fearless and we keep it together and we support each other and we believe the survivors, when we let them speak, damn it, let the women speak. We haven't spoken ever. We've never been allowed to speak. Let us speak, you know. And that's the other reason. Okay, so there's a flip side to this. That's the other reason I think a panel in place is required, because I think and I tweeted about this a couple of days ago, I'm scared that some people will misuse this. Some women or men might misuse this and put false allegations. So again, my request, please do not derail this movement with lies, because there's a lot that needs to come out. There are bigger things and bigger names and bigger issues that need to come out of this. And I hope and I'm praying that it will come out, and this momentum will only gain ground if we stick to it strongly, fearlessly and honestly.
Well, Sandhya, obviously a couple of things that would have already taken place is that everyone is talking about sexual harassment in every living room, at every dinner party, every water cooler. The conversation is Me Too, the conversation is sexual harassment. Men are actually introspecting, thinking about what they've done, what they've said, wondering whether they're going to be next, whether they're going to be in trouble. But the bigger question, and while that's a good step forward, and predators will perhaps think twice before laying a hand on a new woman or a different woman now, my question to you is this: do you expect legal justice? Do you want, or you hope for legal justice to be served to the people who have hurt women in the past?
I'm sorry, I didn't get that. I didn't get the last part, Faye.
So my question is, obviously, there is certain damage to reputation with the Me Too movement, but do you also expect these people to be punished by the law?
Well, legal recourse that's a tough one, Faye. You know, there's got to be enough evidence to be able to take that kind of action. But I'm hoping that it'll lead to that. But I'm sorry, if you were asking me about the people who've been wrongly accused, I hope it doesn't lead to that, because I think some wrong heads might be rolling as we speak.
Which is perhaps why we need to have a legal due process. Do you and here's my question to you: do you believe that this has been happening up until now because our laws are not strong enough, or our enforcement of our laws are not strong enough, or just because some men are just so powerful within their respective industries that nobody dares report them? Is it just patriarchy?
You know, even not just the law, we never got to the law part of it. We never got to breaking the silence within that small community. We never got to even thinking of getting out and complaining. Now we even have more sensitive police now. Even the police is on Twitter. Tomorrow somebody does something to me, I can tweet. I know I can tweet to Mumbai police. They reply to me, Faye. And you know, so we didn't even get out of ourselves and our fears and that little set and then the bigger set and then the bigger industry. We never got out of that to get to the law. Now we will. Now it's opening up. It's all opening up. You know, the communication lines have become so open now that now probably it'll go further to that stage. We never got there. We were just in this cocoon all this time. You understand? We never even complained to anybody but our best friends.
Absolutely.
Not even to the director. You know what I mean? I mean, not even to sometimes.
You know, and
yeah, we पहले वहाँ से निकलना है यार. पहले तो वहाँ से.
Yes, and you know, Sandhya, a lot of people are asking questions about the reaction of the victim, saying, why didn't she walk away? Why did she continue to work with him? Why don't women? And you know, a lot of guys will say, why didn't you just slap him and walk away? Or just why did you continue to work on this film? So, and what people don't understand is in these cases, you cannot judge how the victim reacts, because we can't predict as women how we will react to situations like this. It's part reflex, part just freezing and shock. So what is your response to people who are asking questions of the victims as to why didn't you walk away? Why did you continue to work with this guy?
Yeah, so I'll tell you. Not to make excuses, but firstly, I was a newbie. I was a baby. I was a few months old in the industry at that point. I didn't know how it worked. The next day, when the information started spreading, everybody was sniggering and smiling, and there were, people were just like, "Arey kuch hua to nahi." They make you feel like nothing happened, right? Finally, he didn't manage to do anything to you. Nothing happened, and let it go, let it go. I mean. And then you start feeling that, okay, you're overreacting, and the doubts come, and the questions come, and you're new, and you're lost, you don't know this industry, or you don't know how it works, or it's just everything. And there was this feeling of shame, and I don't know why I had that feeling. Did I do something to attract it? It's how we women also have a mindset, unfortunately. I hate generalizations, but the fact is, we always say, oh my God, did I do something? Because that is also so deeply ingrained, and that is also a flaw in us that we need to get over. We need to stop feeling bad about ourselves because somebody is making us feel bad about ourselves. And that's what happened. And then finally, when I put my foot down, he came to my room and he apologized and he cried and he howled. And I don't know if I believed him or I wanted to believe him, but I saw a very sorry picture, probably his best performance ever happened right there. My hairdresser was there and I let it go. And he gave me the story about reform. And so, I don't know. And I still don't know if I believed it or wanted to believe it. But I had to just get on with it, and then there were people who were saying she's being unprofessional, she's not shooting, I was running high fever, I was mentally just drained, and it was just suddenly all about the heroine is acting difficult, and I had to get on set and perform and finish that film and get the hell out of that place, and that's what I did, and that's what a lot of women end up doing. They made to feel, oh, don't make it so big, kuch hua to hai nahi. I mean, that's what I heard. That's what I heard from even a director who was a female director, and that's the truth.
Have we normalized
because
the violence, the emotional?
The way it was.
Yeah, have we normalized the emotional, physical violence against women? Because let's be honest, Sandhya, in this industry, several years ago, Salman Khan was accused of assaulting a very prominent lead actress. And we went on with our lives. People continued to watch his films, people continued to work with him, people continued to fund his films even. So have we turned around and sent the message to women that, listen, we want to continue working with these men because they're money spinners?
Yeah. I mean, and that's the way it is. And I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what to say about that incident that you just mentioned, and there were such big names involved, and there was physical abuse, and it was obvious, it was apparent, and but that's the way it's been, and I'm so sad. We've all been complicit and said that's the way it is. That's the way it is. That's not the way it is. That's not the way it should be, and that's not the way it will be, I hope. And people kind of say, oh, Sandhya Mridul or so-and-so are doing this for publicity. I may lose even the rest of the work I'm getting talking to you, but I can't keep quiet anymore. I can't, and that's why I had to speak. I had to speak not only in solidarity for Vinta. It was preying on me for so long to get out there and speak, because I felt if you're not speaking, you're being a coward. You have to get over your own fears and whatever else that you've been through, and you have to speak. Just speak. Raise your hand and take that call. And that's it. You go through a lot of emotional turmoil to just get out there and do something about it. When you're in it, when you're just so deep in it.
Well, it's, Sandhya, it's interesting that in the 10 days that we worship the goddesses of our country, it's the 10 days in which women have found their voices in this country. And I want to acknowledge you and the power with which you have come out and you've said what you've said today. I want to, for all of the women who are watching, we're live on Facebook right now as well, I offer you this platform on this channel to come out and share your story like Sandhya came out and shared her story, because for every one of us who speaks up, there are others who will be given hope and faith in the fact that they are not alone. They will be given hope and faith in the fact that they don't have to put up with this any longer, that the patriarchy is in fact being crushed and we can crush it together. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's going to happen over a period of time. And the fact that this ball has begun to roll right now, it might crush bigger names under it, but we will stand together. Sandhya Mridul, thank you so much for making time for Mirror Now, for having this conversation with us. More power to you in your future, and you'll always have support here with us at Mirror Now. Thank you so much for the time you've given us this afternoon.
Thank you, Faye. Thank you very much.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here on Mirror Now, but we'll come back on the other side with more news and updates as more names surface in the MeToo accusation. Subhash Ghai also now being accused of drugging and raping someone that he worked with. We'll bring you more updates on the other side. Don't go anywhere.